Today I want to talk about Charlie Hunnam, actually, the Hollywood actor who I recently viewed on a video this week talking about how he adopted the character that he'd been playing long term into a quite threatening scenario. So I came across this video this week, and Charlie was talking about how one night a man broke into his house at 3 a.m. and he took a look at this guy. He woke up and took a look at this guy and said the guy was about 3 times his size. And he said, "What do I do in a situation like this? I just can't handle this." And then he heard the voice of the character he played in, I think the series was Sons of Anarchy, which I've never watched personally. But he was talking about the character called Jax Teller. And he said he heard this voice inside of him said, "Oh, I know what to do." And he said it didn't end very well for the guy that broke into his house. And he said that he played that character for 8 years in the Sons of Anarchy, and he said it was a real grief when he let this character go, and he was very sorry to let this character go that he'd been playing for such a long period of his life. I find that really fascinating. I find it really interesting. So it just shows that when you're actually actively cultivating a character within you, it can come out when you need it. We spend a lot of time on this unlimited courage on this subject because I think it's so important and so misunderstood. In a time when men are so sedated, so suppressed and so fragile that they're encouraged to be anything but fierce at any time. Such an edge within you is so important. It can form the backdrop of your words, your convictions, your actions. It's extremely important. I have to say, as a coach for so long, one of the things that men really struggle with is this idea of be kind but be fierce. They think they can't go together. They can't possibly be incorporated into the same person. But my reply is, how can they not be together? Because to truly be kind, you have to be fierce. You have to know what you stand for. You have to have your convictions. You have to have strong beliefs. These are absolutely essential. Otherwise, kindness just ends up being a barter for what you want and the way you think the world should be according to you. So that hard edge is really, really important. And I see so many business coaches saying to guys, warrior up, be tough, just be resilient, don't care about what other people say. But if you've been living like that for a long period of time, words just won't work. They won't be enough. There has to be an action. There has to be a testing ground to actually facilitate that change you desire in yourself. So I'd like to drop in some questions here at this point after that, because that testing ground is important. All the things that we feel as men, whether it's anxiety, whether it's fright of what people think about us, whatever it may be, all need to be brought kicking and screaming to the surface. All those parts of us, the chinks in our armour, the weaknesses, they need to be brought to the surface. Not avoided, not living a life so we don't have to face those questions, but actually live in a way that's going to bring them to the surface so they can be overcome and become forms of empowerment rather than forms of paralysis, so that we can't achieve what we want to do and be the man we want to be. So here's a few things I want people to remember. Courage needs a testing ground, or it becomes simply talk. What about the courage to be despised? If you're going to do anything worthwhile, even if you try and avoid it, you will be despised. You will be disliked. So what testing ground will you venture into to facilitate the highest changes possible within yourself? Keep in mind, every man is a warrior, and this includes the vital incorporation of his dark side. And that dark side that's often suppressed and ignored holds great potential if we get to understand it and if we get to hone it in the right way and get it under control. And it will fight for you. It'll stop you people pleasing. It'll stop you turning your back against injustice. It will actually make sure that you've got the vigour to continue going when things get really tough. It will fight for you as long as you have it under control. And this does involve discipline. You have to consciously be aware of it and start to cultivate it. So where do you start? With a code. You have to have a code of knowing what you stand for, or you will literally fall for anything. If you've got some idea of a code at first, a guiding principle and behaviour, you can target that dark side, those repressed parts of yourself, into that code, and they will actually make it stronger. This is what people don't understand. They think following a code means you get rid of that stuff completely. No, you give it a voice in a force for good, in a direction for good that's beneficial and it's positive. So having a code is absolutely vital. Second, 2, you must physically train in areas that will make you dangerous. This is what guys struggle with. You have to physically train in a way that makes you dangerous so that you can hone it and get it under control. It's the men that aren't physically dangerous that tend to be the most cruel and the weak. If you doubt that, look at any politician and you'll have your answer manifest in the world around you. Weak men are physically dangerous and capable, rarely cause that kind of turmoil in the world because they have it under control. They've harnessed that dark side and given it a direction that's beneficial for the world around them. In addition, master what you consume. Master what you consume. This is an area of self-discipline I feel that no one really talks about. So we look at self-discipline as achieving what you want, having a daily timetable to achieve what you want. But here's the thing. If you really develop self-discipline, if you can really flex that daily discipline, it can actually hone that dark, repressed side of you into a positive force for good. If you doubt that, the other side of that is the people that can't stop drinking alcohol. They've got many, many different addictions in their life, from drugs, alcohol, porn, whatever it may be. And that's when that dark side of the man rules his life. He's got no leash on what it will do. It will disrupt a man's life. It will destroy his family. It will destroy his character because there's no discipline there. So discipline is a way to take that dark side of man and forge it and harness it into the stuff he actually wants to achieve and the world he wants to live in. It's a part of self-discipline not many people talk about, but I think this is immensely important to remember that without discipline, that dark repressed side of man runs amok. It becomes captain of the ship and causes total destruction. But discipline, that's where it starts to be given direction in any area you like. Business, sports, whatever. And it can actually become a force for good for you. So it's all about becoming acquainted with that part of us that we often keep hidden and suppressed. Perhaps we're even ashamed of it. But we can hone it in a way that will really serve us for life. It'll be an incredibly important, powerful tool. So the other side of it is the denial of it, the rejection of it, means that it will actually control your life, which could have catastrophic consequences going forward. So denial and a form of self-rejection even, you're actually rejecting parts of you that you don't want to look at, which means if you're not accepting parts of yourself, it's going to create complete turmoil and breakdown later on in a man's life. These are discussions we need more of. I think people don't understand this. They think that anything within a man, his thoughts and feelings he had, they need to be pulled out and thrown away and got rid of. So they say, well, I've got to get rid of my anger. You don't need to get rid of your anger. You don't need to get rid of anything. You just need to give it a voice in the right direction. And when you do that, you become a balanced man and a powerful force for good in whatever you want to do.